put a quote here for the Secretary of Education. Most young people can't remember a time without the internet, but most learning experiences in school don't match that reality outside. We have to bridge the gap. When I was a sophomore in high school, it was when we got computers in my high school. And the class that we had was to program in BASIC. And there was a kid in my class who was able to place out of the class because 10 minutes into it, he had the computer playing the theme song from MASH. Hardly productive, entertaining, but showed that he had a knowledge of it and that my school recognized that these things were going to ultimately be important in the hands of businesses and people. By the way, he was in the mid-1980s caught hacking into one of the federal government's computer systems, to which one of my best friend's fathers said, well, at least he's on the front page of the paper. What are you two guys doing? We said, he'll either go to prison or they'll hire him. They hired him. He's now a professor at MIT later in his career. But he obviously stayed interested in computers. But let's think about what we're telling our children today. My son's very distraught this year because they made a new rule on his campus at school. What does he have to turn off when he gets there? You'd say his cell phone. I'd say his computer. We're sitting here thinking about how we get computers into classrooms globally when we have a very low-cost solution that's already in the hands of a lot of kids. And for the kids who don't have it in their hands, it's a much more affordable internet device and computing device. So I fundamentally believe, just the way I can tell my kids that, gosh, I had never even answered an email until 1992, their kids will think it's amazing that my parents had to turn their computers off when they got to school. And so let's look at a real-life application of that philosophy. Wireless Reach, we funded a project in North Carolina called Project Connect. And what we did was we went into an underserved, at-risk school in North Carolina where the kids who were in the classroom didn't have computers at home, didn't have internet access. And we took an algebra class, actually two of them, same teacher, two classes. One class got smartphones, the other didn't. Same curriculum, so we controlled as many variables in the experiment as we could. Well, we got to the end of it, and the proficiency exam showed a 30% increase for the children who had smartphones. Now, what was interesting was, yes, the teacher used the phones and incorporated them into the learning. They could go to algebra.com using the browser as a way to get help outside of school. But the social aspect that came in was fascinating. The kids actually began using the phones to help teach each other. And so there was a kid in the class who was particularly good, I guess, at algebra. And I don't know whether it was an illness or something that kept him out of the classroom for some period of time. And so what he started doing was using the video camera on the smartphone to start filming himself solving problems.